The Royal Rumble is my favourite show of the year. I love it so much that if it wanted to marry me, I'd consider it. And then if we sat down and had a chat about whether we wanted children, I'd put that into the old thinker as well. And if you're wondering, Simon, what the hell are you talking about? Well, I'm very tired. I've only had like 1 hour's sleep because, like you, I stayed up for the Royal Rumble. But when you do that and the older you get, eventually your body, it just starts attacking you from the inside and your bones start to cry with sadness. But here we are 30 or so years later and the format still hasn't aged, and that's because it works so well, even if it's just the surprise element about who's gonna come out. I mean, look who we got in 2019, Jeff Jarrett at number 2. Who thought Jeff Jarrett was gonna be number 2? Nobody. And he came out in his ring gear and he looked all weird because I only realised now, so many years on, that he does look weird in this ring gear. It was like a cardboard tube that a kid had cut open. Maybe though, just maybe nowadays, WWE have pushed a few elements a little too far. And whether you're a hardened fan or you're a casual trying to get into wrestling, you probably thought the other day that, yeah, the Royal Rumble made absolutely no sense. Why? Here's why. Now, you may not think that this is a bad thing, and to be honest, I don't either. The more dumb WWE wants to be, the more entertainment I can probably suck out of the product. But that doesn't stop like a big hand coming from nowhere and just slapping you around the face going, look, try and find some sense in this. You're like, I can't, hand, go away. Do people book this? Is it a coincidence? Do they even care? And like I say, I don't mind what they do, but I really would like some answers, hence why I'm doing this now. I want everyone to throw their thoughts in, and then maybe we can just get to a conclusion. Let's start with a brand new one that was specific to the most recent Royal Rumble, and that was when the Iconics came out to get involved. Billie Kay was first, but she refused to get in the ring until her tag team partner and best friend, Peyton Royce, arrived. She was like, look, referees, look, officials who are in charge, I don't want to get in there until I'm ready. And by and large, everyone was like, all right, Billie, you do whatever the hell you want. And I did like this because somehow the Iconics are simultaneously annoying and brilliant, but I just figure that means they're doing their job really well. Now, straight away you got to ask yourself, well, if this is the rule for everybody else, why the hell would you get in there to begin with? You may as well keep surveying the field, and when it kind of seems like it's a bit easier, then chuck yourself in. But it got really perplexing a couple of hours later because Curt Hawkins arrived for the Men's Royal Rumble, tried to do exactly the same thing, but was told, nah, mate, that ain't how this shiz works. So instead had to get in and then get out and get in and get out and do all kinds of crazy stuff. So what the hell is the rule supposed to be here? What is the blueprint I'm meant to follow if I enter myself into the Royal Rumble? I don't think there is one. Let's move on. A more general eyebrow raiser is those people who get eliminated from the Royal Rumble and yet somehow are allowed to re-enter and still chuck other people out. Like, I get going back to the ring and just pummeling someone because you're pissed off, but how can Mandy Rose push Naomi off those steel steps, see her 2 feet crash into the floor and go, even though I got chucked out by you 30 seconds ago, I've now chucked you out too. What? That spot was brilliant too, by the way, and goes to show how effective you can be in the ring as opposed to doing really strange skits in hotel rooms. It got Mandy Rose proper heat. How dare she take away this moment from Valiant Naomi? It's not like this is anything new either, but it doesn't mean it's not worth questioning. We can go all the way back to the 1992 Royal Rumble, where supposed good guy Hulk Hogan, I believe, started this trend. He'd been thrown out fair and square by Sid Justice, but he didn't like that, he wasn't happy, so when Sid Justice was leading over the ropes, he grabbed his arm and he just pulled him out, and that gave the world title to the Nature Boy Ric Flair. Look at the Riot Squad too. Liv Morgan and Sarah Logan were just allowed to swander back out and beat the living hell out of people on the outside, and nobody did a damn thing. In fact, nobody cared at all, meaning the Rumble is absolutely gibberish. This keeps on ticking as well because next on the list, of course, is the ability to just outright steal somebody else's spot. And this is my favorite one because when you apply it to real sports, my word, does it open the door for some entertaining scenarios. Get rid of the fact that it's work and let's take who is in this year's Super Bowl. You've got the Rams and you've got the Patriots. Just think before kickoff, if the Packers went, nah, we want to be in the Super Bowl, they turned up, they just beat New England up. And when they came out the field, there they were, the Green Bay Packers. And everyone went, well, I guess they must have kicked the crap out of someone. Green Bay Packers, you can be in a Super Bowl. It happened with Becky Lynch, Nia Jax, and a whole host of people. We could be here all day. I remember when Mick Foley did it. Mick Foley, who was supposed to be a good guy, beat the schnoz out of Test backstage, meaning then GM Stone Cold Steve Austin went, look, you screwed up my Royal Rumble, now you're going to go in. I think I even remember the number. I think it was 21. I may be wrong. That may be my brain trying tricks on me. But he came out, and the whole reason he had done it is because he wanted to get his hands on Randy Orton. And the GM, the general manager, the man in charge, was adamantly saying, you better go and take this man's spot. And it's all great because of course it is. But I'm talking about the more practical side. Go get a pen and try and write down the rules to the Royal Rumble, and I bet you can't do it. Or I bet you keep coming up with rules that then counteract other rules. It's impossible because they change on a whim, and also if this is the case, don't officially enter the Royal Rumble. Just go to the gorilla position or kind of wait somewhere in the wings, and as soon as number 30 arrives, just go beat them up and you can take their spot, and really, that should be the place that you want. You're probably going to go and win the Royal Rumble. And don't worry about it, you'll absolutely be the first replacement on the card. Experience in the past tells us, again, if you're the one that does the attack, for some reason, you're the one that go, oh, you get in there. Which brings us to one that I think jumped the shark in 2019, and of course I'm referring to the whole 2 feet rule. Now, when Howard Finkel used to get on the mic and go, and remember, a competitor's feet must touch the floor, I don't think WWE were ever envisioning where we've got today. But we are here with all this nonsense decades later, and that means it needs to be addressed by somebody. If I've got to do it, I'll do it, then I can go to bed. For example, when I was watching a recent Royal Rumble with a friend because I was trying to get them into pro wrestling, I wanted them to share my love, all of a sudden, I had to try and explain why Kofi Kingston wearing pancake shoes was enough to ensure he didn't get himself eliminated. Pancake shoes. It makes me laugh just thinking about it because it is oh so dumb, but it does act as a huge barrier when you are trying to explain what this crazy thing is. And also, if wearing sweet treats on your feet is allowed, just do it every single year and you'll never go out the Royal Rumble. Hell, chop your legs off and you'll definitely win. This year especially was all over the place because they just did too many of them. We've already mentioned Naomi and Casey Katzana, she had one too, and Kofi Kingston had 2 of them, and the second one, well, that kind of sucked. He fell off the ring just as his buddy Xavier Woods was arising, kind of did some weird roly-poly together, and that allowed Xavier Woods to pick him up, and then he just walked him back across to where he needed to be. Then they both got eliminated straight away anyway, so what the point was there, I don't know, but I think maybe from 2020, which is crazy, how the hell are we in the year 2020? But from 2020, maybe we should just get rid of that and say, look, as soon as your body crashes into the apron and you've gone over the top rope, you're out, you're done. Get to the back. Oh yeah, come in and throw somebody else out because you're allowed. There's other incidentals too because there's the timing of each of the entrants. If you ever get super bored and you know that WWE have said, oh, you're going to get a brand new competitor every 90 seconds or every 2 minutes, go and time it on your old stopwatch and you'll find sometimes it's a minute, sometimes it's 35 seconds, sometimes it's 2.5 minutes. They just make it up. And also, as we keep seeing, if you're a woman, you could enter the man's match, and I imagine that's the same vice versa. We had Nia Jax this year. Again, let's take that into the real world. Do you know how desperate I am to see Serena Williams enter one of the men's Grand Prix, one of the men's Opens? I would absolutely love that. I would pay to see it. It would be the best, which is probably why it is entertaining when WWE does do it. And just to pull back the curtain here, that's why it is such a joy. We are in the world of make-believe to a certain extent. If you can start having some fun with reality, you absolutely should. Otherwise, you're not playing to all of your strengths. Honestly though, every single year the Rumble gets more and more convoluted and in many ways does get more and more confusing. You can come in whenever you want, steal people's spots, wear special stuff on the soles of your feet, and be an active player even when you're out of the damn thing. But really, when you break it all down, maybe that's why we love it so much. I mean, it is absolutely dumbfounding, and it does make no sense, and it is full of plot holes, but hey ho, maybe that's why here we are. When it's like 1988, you know, we're 31 years later, 32, whatever the hell it is, I don't know the numbers right now, I'm tired like I told you, and we're still loving it. And I went back and I watched both Royal Rumble matches again, simply because there's something about it. And it's like, it's layered. Like that movie Dodgeball. You can watch it again and go, oh, I didn't notice this, I didn't notice that. You'll also notice more bad things you didn't see first time around. But that's the circle of life. You take the rough with the smooth and always make sure you got a smile on your face. So not making sense doesn't have to be a bad thing, but that still does mean it makes absolutely no sense. And yes, the Royal Rumble makes absolutely no sense. The other thing we should mention just quickly as we do end this video, because Nia Jax did attack R-Truth, he was number 30, and she stole his place, does that mean that WWE is about to return to intergender wrestling, and they have been steadfast against that for a long time. And on top of that, does that mean at WrestleMania 35, we are indeed going to get R-Truth versus Nia Jax? I know it sounds crazy, and that's kind of confusing when it goes into the old lobes, but from a sheerly intrigue standpoint, I think I'd want to watch it. I think I'd want to see what WWE were going to do. And we planted the seeds a good 4 months earlier. We're all about long-term storytelling. We will have to wait and see. Again, though, it all ties into this, the Royal Rumble. Not making sense since 1988. Now, don't forget to leave a comment below and let us know what you think about the Royal Rumble and all of this. Does it make sense? Does it not make sense? Like, share and subscribe. Head over to whatculture.com and read yourself some articles, especially before we keep moving forward on this train. We'll get to the Elimination Chamber and we'll get to Fastlane. No one will be talking about the Rumble no more. Follow What Culture on Twitter at WhatCultureWWE. And why not go and watch some other videos here about the Rumble at What Culture Wrestling. Ups and downs will be somewhere. It's a long one because the stupid Rumble was 7 hours long. That's another video we should do. Why the hell was the Rumble 7 hours long? Slow them down, WWE. No, speed them up, cut them down. My name is Simon from What Culture. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you again very soon. It'll be a wide video, there'll be a title, I'll slap my head, we'll have a good time. If we ever see each other, we'll hug, and it will just be dandelions and feathers all around. Because if you don't know, when you take dandelions and feathers and put them together, you get a cute little puppy that just wants to say your name and just wants to lick your face. None of what I said is true other than the fact that is my name, and that's where you are. I'll see you soon. Weird.